balcony glow up tips. Hi everyone, the sun is back out and my hay fever is back with a vengeance. So I'm going to be crying my way through sharing my favourite ways to transform your balcony in just an afternoon. I spent last Saturday out here in the sun, turning it from something that was quite a disaster into a space that is fit for entertaining. So here we go. Last year, I was lucky enough to go to the Chelsea Flower Show where balconies, for the first time ever, were featured as a category. And I just got so much inspiration from whether it was outdoor dining or herb gardens or whatever. There was just people doing the most amazing things with the tiniest of spaces. So we've tried to incorporate a bit of this into my humble balcony, and I'm going to be sharing some of those tips with you today. First things first, give it a good clean. Whether that's sort of sweeping down your terrace or getting rid of dead leaves, trimmings, deadheadings. Yeah, you would be surprised how grubby it can get after a winter of neglect. So yeah, start with a clean slate and give it a deep clean. So tip number 2, add some colour with plants or flowers, obviously. Okay, so one of my absolute favourite plants to use are geraniums. These guys. They will last through winter, they will carry on flowering through summer, they will basically give you year-round colour, and you can, as I have done, sort of forget about them and they will just keep doing their thing, and they just look great. They're like a big hot pink colour pop in your garden. And they love pots. You can plant them in a flower bed. They're gorgeous. So tip number 3, when you're working with limited space, you've got to be really clever with it. So use your walls. If you're working with a balcony, you want to think about using climbers. We've got jasmine growing here. I've got a rose that is not doing so well at the moment. I planted a herb garden on the wall. I've even installed an insect hotel on one section of the home. Not had many check-ins, but we're fingers crossed. Other ways you can use your walls, we put up this mirror, which is not only sort of a design feature, it actually kind of bounces light around the space. And honestly, in the evenings, when the sun sets, it kind of rebounds around the space and it looks so gorgeous. Or you can hang a lantern, again, just in the evenings, looks really gorgeous. You just want to think about using height rather than sort of going outwards because you've got limited floor space. Okay, and then another space-saving tip. It's not exactly using your walls, but again, in balconies, you're working with limited space. So we've actually got this sort of vintage Moroccan tray, which we use as a tabletop, but it's a really great hack for, if you're having people over for drinks. Underneath it, we've got a fire pit, which I have to admit has only been used about twice, but when it has been used, it's been great. So it's sort of one piece of furniture that functions as several uses, and I can just walk off like this and take a picture. Another really quick, cheap and easy way to add a bit of character to your balcony is to pimp up your plant pots. It's also a really great way to use up any leftover paint you've got lying around, and we've seen some really cool examples recently from our decorating community of people kind of using really jazzy pastels and kind of doing all these swirly designs, and it looks amazing. I did a slightly less exciting example, but just using leftover white paint to sort of whitewash your plant pots, and you get that really gorgeous distressed effect. And I mean, that's literally adding water to your white paint and kind of using an old cloth to whitewash your plant pot. And I think they look really cool, and these are so expensive to buy in the shops. So yeah, inside tip, that's whitewash your plant pots. Okay, this next one is a literal glow up tip, and that is invest in festoon lighting. I cannot explain how many wrongs festoon lighting can right. It can transform the most uninspiring space into this kind of magical evening heaven. I don't know. Even if you don't have outdoor plugs, nowadays there's so many great solar powered options or USB plugins or all sorts of clever things. So yeah, get gorgeous lighting for your balcony like yesterday. Is she in it? Just chilling. Okay, next tip is add a rug. I honestly, you read all these things online and you're like, does that really work? But I've got the before and after of when we had the rug and when we didn't, and it actually makes it feel so much bigger. It really works. Here it's defining that sitting area space, or if you've got an outdoor dining area, just adding a rug really just the same as it does indoors. It just helps define an area, define that space, and it just adds a bit of texture and softness and really sort of creates that fifth room element that the outdoors has now become. You don't have to invest in loads of really expensive sort of new products. Like this one is just a reject from indoors. I'll be honest with you, it had a lot of puppy training mistakes on it. So it was sort of no longer, we didn't want it in the kitchen anymore, but you know, it'll serve a few summers outside. Okay, so next tip, don't just stop at the outdoor rug, layer on your soft furnishings. Whether that's outdoor cushions, a floor cushion, throws, anything. I mean, these ones were, again, rejects from indoors. My boyfriend finds them really scratchy. They are quite scratchy, but it's fine for outdoors, and actually they kind of do really well come rain or shine or whatever. So yeah, just think about creating a really comfortable and inviting space. Final balcony glow up tip, and we would say this, is to paint your garden furniture. I personally have not done this because I don't have any furniture to paint, but if I did, I would. And I think it's a great option, especially if you're renting and you can't, you know, paint the walls. Like even on these walls, I think this is like listed brick. Anyway, you're not allowed to paint these walls because I did think about it. But yeah, if you want to just add a bit of color to your space without actually painting the sort of masonry, yeah, brightly colored garden furniture is a great way to do that with just an afternoon of your time and a bit of elbow grease. So yeah, paint your garden furniture. So those are our 8 balcony glow up tips. I hope you enjoyed my before and after. I certainly did, because it's looking a lot nicer now than it did last weekend. Just happy glow up. Just get outdoors and enjoy your balcony and make it somewhere that you want to hang out.